I tell you what, it's good to be back with the honest truth and the truth seekers here at Truth Seekers Live, man. It really is good to be back. I hope everybody has been doing absolutely magnificently. It's truth, man. It's Jonathan. I'm back with y'all tonight. Yo, I want to give a huge shout out to Ivy Kim, not because they sponsored this, but because they were able to get me back running with some jank stuff. So I want to give a huge shout out to them. I got to give a huge shout out to you for listening right now, for tuning in right now. Notice, big notice, because today we're marking a new trend, right? There's going to be a new trend and a new series that we're starting, and it's called Divest, because I want the term, just like the manosphere is kind of imploding on itself, that term of the manosphere where these guys are starting to question their legitimacy, their authenticity, and everything like that. They want to form new terms and stuff like that. I want people to start really addressing the terminology of the term and recognizing the word as something that might be a bit off, or a bit amiss, a bit just right. That's my goal for this, and I feel like it's a good and it's a righteous purpose, and I'm explaining to you why. But before we get into any of that, we have to obviously handle something that's very important, right? This is extremely important. But before we even get to the really important thing, I got to get to something that's even more important, right? I have to give a shout out and an apology more than anything, right? On my last live stream, I banned one of our channel members who's been on the channel for a very long time, and I felt bad about it. I've always been a person that's really passionate. I've always been a person that's really believes strongly in what I believe in, and that could be to a fault and to my detriment. A lot of the times, there's been a lot of situations in my life when I've done things and I've just completely flown off the loose end, right, the deep end, if you will, and I just don't think appropriately. I don't handle situations appropriately. And so I want to apologize to IK on a public platform and tell her that I was sorry, and tell you all that I'm sorry. And I was wrong for doing what I did to her and humiliating her and embarrassing her like that. I was very wrong for that. And so we spoke behind the scenes, and things are okay now. But whenever I'm wrong, whenever I'm dead wrong about something, I admit it. Even if you're right, or even if your intentions were okay behind it, sometimes you just do things the wrong way. And when you do things the wrong way, it's the wrong way, and it's the wrong way, whether or not you're right or wrong. And so that kind of leads me into my next point, where we're going to talk about here, the divest thing, right? The divest thing. Before we get into the next point of the divest thing, let's handle something really important. I got an email and I got a question, and this is from a person. She was like, "Why do you not do the day of the day anymore?" I said, "God Almighty, I don't know why I don't do the day of the day. It's National Pet Day, okay, ladies and gentlemen. April 11th, National Pet Day. It's also National Work Zone Awareness Week. Look at that, by God Almighty. It's a public health and safety event held each year in April. Wow, that's awesome. Education and Sharing Day, National Barbershop Quartet Day. There you go. Let's see, what else did we miss? National Submarine Day. Those are your holidays, ladies and gentlemen. Divest. A few things. Number one, this is not meant to hurt your feelings, okay? This is going to hurt people's feelings. Unfortunately, this is just the unfortunate reality and the truth of the truth. The truth is going to hurt you because it exposes elements that you do not want to place your thoughts and your thought patterns on, especially repetitiously, right? We seek to, as people, run away from the things that we don't like and run towards the things that we do like, which is why a lot of the times in our particular certain area of the internet, we have people that complain about other genders running towards the wrong type of person, or the bad boy, right? Or the Instagram model, or whatever it might be. Both sides of people, white people, black people, yellow people, Asian people, all people intrinsically have this natural community mindset thing that they harbor inside of them that's so instinctive that when we do try to fight against it, it's almost like a whole wave that has to take across the internet and the minds of the population, because without that thought, that conscious, awakening, that red pill moment, if you will, it would have never existed, right? And that's the entire concept of divestment. Divestment essentially is, and this is different from swirling, divestment essentially, from what I've gathered, is when you stop intermingling, dating, associating with people of your immediate community or race. That's what I think divesting is, right? When you completely disconnect, right? Now, there's another term called swirling, all right? The title of this video obviously is why you can't divest even if you try. And this is a fact. I'll explain it to you why a little bit later in the stream. right? There's going to be plenty more streams. They're going to have a lot more statistics. We're just now diving into this, so I'm not going to get crazy. Okay, I'm not going to get crazy, but let's go ahead and talk about a few things. As these videos are playing and as you're watching this, I want you to understand something. This divestment idea has been in society for a good amount of time. Hey, if the video goes down, then it's gotten copyrighted, okay? It's gotten copyrighted and it goes down. We'll be back up live in a second. Make sure you donate. Once again, support the channel, support me needing to do a few things. If you agree with the message, if you like the message, and if you want it to be spread, both men, women, white, black, Asian, Latino, green, alien, Martian, I do not care. Donate to the channel. These videos have always had a concept or some realm of divestment tied into them. But even so, if we were to look at the numbers of actual divestments and marriages right now that represent divestment amongst the population or the general marriages, I believe the number is less than 1%, right? It's like 550,000 marriages are people that are married. Now, obviously, if we're talking about people that are actually in a relationship, man and women, black and white, either way, vice versa, tick tack, potato potato, I think those numbers, if you're talking about girlfriend or live-in relationships or whatever it might be, domestic situations, that numbers goes up a bit. But for marriages, ladies and gentlemen, for marriages, it's less than 1%. So this is no, this article I read was like from 2010, right? But it's probably up to about 3 to 5% now at the most. Just to be completely honest with you, it's a very, very, very select thing to be in an interracial relationship. All right. It's a very select thing. Not many people are going to get to do it off rip. Now, obviously, in the video, I had to start all over, so I'm sorry. Obviously, there's been the talks and the discussion of black women needing to date outside of their race for the simple fact that statistics and numbers represents them needing to do so. They do not have the ability to all, if they were to, essentially look within their race, find a good black guy, find a good upstanding dude, find this, find that. We don't have the numbers. There's too many black guys locked up. Listen, I'm THT. I done talked about all of this. So, niggas are doing better, but niggas are still overall doing kind of bad. Myself included. Fuck, what am I talking about? So, moving on, they have to, at a certain point in time, especially with the amount of education that they're having, start to look into expanding their options, okay? That is a must and that's necessary. And this is why I did get behind divestment. And I know that this message is going to be perplexing for a lot of people. They're going to be like, Truth, how can you say that divestment is not going to work for a lot of people? And then on the opposite end, you've been talking trash about black guys that have been saying exactly what you're getting ready to say and exactly what you're saying now. Well, for one, we're not saying the same thing, both you and I, okay? For two, once again, it's not the same thing, okay? There are some elements that might reflect your red pill monospheric beliefs, right? But in the same essence that everybody who took the red pill in the Matrix, aka Cypher, who was the mole and an enemy in the camp, right? There are still certain things that have left to be unsaid and that have left to been said because certain people in both sections of this woken red pill community refuse to accept or acknowledge that there might be moles in the camp, and they just refuse to give into the idea that Cypher is a real life person, not just a movie character who was able to infiltrate, get out of the Matrix, and then make a deal with the agents behind the scenes, right? The people who truly ran the Matrix. He was able to make a deal with them. Now we're talking about a different thing, way longer in the future, way a couple live streams in the future. So I'm not going to dive deep down inside of content creators or people within the woke community or the red pill community selling out to the agents for money. I'm not going to talk about that right now. All right. We'll focus on that a little bit later. Let's get back into why it's literally impossible for most people, statistically, for most women, black women, unfortunately, statistically, to divest at this particular moment in time, the women who are in the femisphere. All right. Let me do a few, and this could change, but based off of the current trends of modern culture and society, it's going to be extremely hard for what I'm saying right now to be flipped within the next 5, 10, 15, 25 years. Extremely hard. And this is just the nature of it goes. Before we even get to that, though, let me share an article with you, okay? This article was written by, and this is the article I was talking about earlier, right? Americans are in favor of marriage until they're asked about their own family. Americans are in favor of interracial marriage until they are asked about their own family. Nearly 90%, once again, this is an old article, I'm pretty sure. Nearly 90% of Americans are in favor of the marriages between black and white people. Let me blow this up a little bit. Now, I'm not going to blow it up. It looks good the way it is, right? And yet the rate of interracial marriage remains relatively low at less than 1% of all marriages. So nearly 90% of Americans are in favor of marriages between black and white people. And yet the rate of interracial marriage remains relatively low at less than 1% of all marriages. Now, once again, I'm a firm believer in you needing to date outside of your immediate community if you are in Blackistan or an area that even resembles that, or just the people amongst your community are not being the best type of guys. I get that 100%. But you need to understand what you're going into. This is not sunshine and rainbows, okay? Right now, being completely honest, you're more than likely being sold somewhat of a dream, because in order to truly divest or swirl in this case and to get that marriage, once again, I know the numbers for relationships, girlfriend and boyfriend, are higher. I get that. But in order for you to get, if you do want that marriage, you're going up against already some staggering numbers and statistics. Now, just because it's staggering does not mean it's impossible. I get that. But we're going to be honest on the honest truth going forward. And I intend to help you if you truly want to help yourself and pursue divestment, swirling, whatever it might be. All right. Digging into the further data, they find that only 42% of blacks and 13% of whites strongly favor their close relative marrying somebody of the opposite race. Now, this is something that we've talked about a few times on this channel. Donovan Sharp's talked about this a few times on the channel. We've talked about interracial dating, but we haven't really talked about it as much from the perspective of a white man and how a white man looks at a black woman. Right now, I can't speak on this perspective, obviously, to that much extent, because I'm not a white guy. Arguably, some people would say, nigga, you are white. But I can't say that I was raised with white people my whole life. As a matter of fact, for just about half my life, I was the only black person inside of my damn school. So all those years I was called Oreo or Dexter's Laboratory or this or this or that, it was for a good reason. I'm not saying I'm speaking through the eyes of a white man. I'm simply going to read you the numbers, and in my opinion, I'm going to give my opinion on how I see the similarities and what the numbers of this article are saying and what I've seen and experienced through conversation of my own and through conversations through people that I've actually had conversations with online, yada, yada, yada. When I say on my own, it's people that I've met in real life, stuff like that, right? So let's move on. Today, 87% of Americans say they approve marriages between black and white people. However, the response changes dramatically when they are asked more directly about how they feel once one of their close relatives wants to marry outside of their race. Results from our recent research show that more than half, 54% of blacks, are in favor of their close relative marrying a white person. The result is lower for whites, among whom only 1 in 4, 26%, said they were in favor of their close relative marrying a black person. Now, this is this is white men and white women. I assume that they polled equally. I don't know. You have to take these statistics with a grain of salt. All I'm saying is that, once again, from my own personal experience and just my own personal, non-professional opinion, this is relatively accurate. All right. Such findings show that interracial relations are still unfavorable in the United States, although the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in the 1960s that laws banning blah, blah, blah. Nonetheless, the number of black-white marriages remains relatively low at 558,000, according to the 2010 U.S. Census. This represents less than 1% of all marriages in the country. We've already read that. In our research, we went beyond general opinion questions and used recent general social survey data sets that included questions on how black and white Americans actually feel about their close relative marrying outside of their race. So what factors explains these patterns of black and white marriages in the U.S.? Both racial specific conditions and individual characteristics are at play. First, in terms of race, whites are still less likely to support interracial marriages as compared to black. We just read that. In 2000, 24% of blacks and 11% of whites said they were in favor of somebody marrying somebody, one of their close relatives. In 2010, the gap remains at 42% for blacks and 13% for whites. So this is really big. Okay, this is big. After 12 years, okay, after 12 years, and I need you to understand. I need you to understand why I'm starting to make these series right now. After 12 years, these numbers are saying that the amount of blacks that are accepting, that they have to get into, or that they should get into an interracial relationship, has grown. Now, this said it's for 42% for blacks. I estimate this number is going to go even higher because this is a study from 2012. This is 10 years old at this point. We're in 2022, and divestment is getting ready to, or has exploded, right? It has exploded absolutely 1,000%, right? And so also, I forgot, somebody remind me to credit the content creator who made those videos that I'm actually showing y'all. These videos, somebody remind me to link them. I need to link them right now, to be honest with you, before I do that. So, but let me make this last point before I continue going on and I get the link. The number doubled for Black people who are willing to get into interracial relationships, and it went up 2% for whites. All right. Now, I don't know how this poll was done. I don't know what credentials this poll has, but I'm just going to go ahead and take the risk, right, of lending some credence to this. Once again, let me get the channel that I got these videos from. I'm pretty sure. I would be pissed, you know, somebody took my shit. Please don't y'all go telling her, and then she's like, and then she decides to copyright strike me. The name of the channel is White Men Black Women Love. All right, the name of the channel is White Men Black Women Love. Let me link it right here for y'all. WMB. All right, there it is, right there. Okay, so listen, y'all. I support divestment as much as you do. I truly do. There's a problem though. All right, not everybody is going to support the divestment as much, and whenever you have a lack of support whenever there's a lack of support for a house and there's too many people in a house party, what happens? Whenever there's a lack of support for a house in the foundation, whenever there's a lack of support for something, then there's a risk of that thing crashing down and imploding on itself, because the amount of pressure that you're requiring that device or that structure to hold or to bear or to stand up, it's not strong enough for the force that it's getting ready to feel, right? Now, I'm not trying to, and I know how it sounds. Like, what do you mean, Truth? We can't all find white guys because what exactly? Like, what exactly are you trying to say? No, what I'm saying is this. Right now, you do not have the structure or the ability or the mindset. You don't have the rationale, thanks to your favorite content creator, thanks to this person. Yeah, you've woken up and you've taken the pill, but you've yet to train. Neo didn't just take the red pill and all of a sudden he was ready to kick agents' ass. No, Neo took the red pill when he woke up and he had to learn how to walk, right? You have to learn how to walk first. You have to do things that are at a very basic level. And the problem with trying to run before you walk, and the problem with trying to do something before you're at one very minimalistic type of level, the problem with trying to achieve a very, very big life culture switching type of shocking type of decision, right? Because make no mistake about it, dating a white man is a culture shock. All right, severe culture shock. You're talking about intermingling family. You're talking about doing a lot of different things. It's very different. It's not to scare you off, but it's very different. Okay, I'm not going to tell you myself because I'm a black man, but I found black women. All right, there's a woman who's married to a black. There's a black woman who's married to a white man. She was on the Yanni. What's that? Real Talk with Yanni channel. She was on the Real Talk with Yanni channel. She's married to a white man. It was fascinating, the things that she was saying. And I'll give you a couple little, I don't know if y'all saw that. I don't know if Yanni still has the video up, but she was saying she doesn't want to have kids. She's almost 30 and she doesn't want to have kids. And it was interesting reasons why she listed. And she gave a few other reasons. And so that got me thinking into the entire thing. Like, even the women that actually do it, I'm getting off of my point right now. I'll get back to my point of why you can't most likely divest, while most women right now that are in divestment can't divest. And it's really not even, it's really something you're going to hear and you're going to be like, damn, that makes sense. You're going to be like, damn. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense right there. Let me read some of these comments. I promise you it's not hate. I promise you it's not hate. You're going to be like, golly, this nigga Truth is on point. So she was giving the story about, she don't want to do this. I was like, damn, this is crazy. I was like, that's a good point. We're going to play her videos in the next live stream. That's the next live we're talking about. We'll have the women who have actually divested. I'm going to be talking to a white guy. Like I said, my cousin is married to a white man. So he's going to be coming onto the podcast. I don't think she's going to be coming on, but he's going to be coming onto the podcast and talking about that. Right. So yeah, even in my own personal experience, yeah, I've seen it. Okay. I'm not just completely hating. Okay. Hey, but stay tuned. So getting back to this, let's talk about Eve for a second. As I play my little video clips and I narrate my articles, let me talk about Eve for a second, because obviously they're the ones on the cover, right? Eve, if you don't know, is a rapper. She was a rapper. She's definitely not a rapper anymore. She's now a mother, and she's welcomed a child, a son, with her husband. Right? She's welcomed. And ladies and gentlemen, I need you to read this with me, okay? Eve welcomes her first baby, son with Wild Wolf. Son Wild Wolf. Jesus Christ, I can't read. With husband Maximilian Cooper. This is the son right here. Cute little baby, right? It's her profile there. That's the guy. That's her husband. That's Eve. Once again, this is not to anger any of you. I know this is going to do numbers and people are going to be watching, and there are people that are content creators, there are divestors watching this right now, hanging on every word I say, but these are the words that need to be said, okay? The reason why, and I'll open up the panel in a second, okay? The reason why, and my God, Eve's beautiful I think she's 43. I think she's 43. So she says she had the baby at 43. Our beautiful baby boy was born February 1st, 2022. Eve writes alongside a photo of her newborn, whom the couple have named Wild Wolf, Fife Alexander Summers Cooper. Lordy. Swaddled in, he's royalty, Jesus Christ. Swaddled and sleeping in a Moses blanket. I mean, he's literally royalty. The 43-year-old rapper has confirmed her first son. Eve looks freaking better at 43 than she looked at 23. You think I'm lying? You think I'm joking that Eve looks better at 43 than she did at 23? Y'all niggas talking about the wall? I'll type in Eve rapper at 23 years old. Let me see what pulls up. Let me see what pulls up. Man, I hate when did I hate my damn this damn keyboard. All right, Eve rapper. When did Google start doing autocorrect? All right, Eve at 23. Let me find Eve at 23 real quick. All right, let's just find young Eve because that's not working. Young Eve rapper. Okay. Oh, my eyes. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. I'm getting back to the point. I promise. I'm getting back to the point. And Eve was still, still. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna just say this, okay? Eve looked better at 20. She looks better now than she did at 23. Keep it right there. Let me move on. Do you know why? Tell me in the chat. I want to know in the chat. My eyes are so dry right now. I want to know in the chat if you know what I'm getting ready to say. Why is it that most of the women who are divested, why is it that most of them really won't be able to divest? I just want to see if y'all already kind of going with where I'm going. 64 people watching. Make sure you like. I know these are going to do numbers, and I really, I know that this does it because it's going to be drama and juicy. So, yeah, Eve was rough at 20. Hello, hey says, yeah, she was. She was dealing with strip club niggas then. Okay. The wall is mostly nebulous. Just search Rough Riders. Okay. Yeah, no, I did. Learning IT said she didn't get a notification. It's okay. Juice said, that's what I thought. Divestment isn't about white men. No, Fifth Avenue. I think that swirling isn't about white men, right? Swirling, I think, is about. All right. So I understand, right? Now, let me say this too, because I heard that Cynthia and Nyla aren't divestment channels and all this other stuff like that. Those are absolutely divestment channels. Divestment is radical, unfounded, super radical, and it's not unfounded, but it's like unbased in some certain areas, unfounded, super radical, almost like borderline racism, right? That's pretty much what it is. And it is for a reason. Trust me, I understand. Black Femicide America, I talked about all of that for the past year and a half. All right. But divestment, I feel like, is what the manosphere is now, where once again, when Pink Pill and Cerebral and everybody else was kind of had, more of an underground divestment scene, it wasn't as crazy and as hectic. When the manosphere was first introduced, it wasn't as crazy hectic. It was guys who were doctors, who were lawyers. It was guys who were like legitimately getting screwed over in the child support court, losing their practices. And they were like, fuck, we need something to do because we're getting screwed over. That's what the manosphere was created for. It wasn't created for dusties who didn't make $30,000 a year to be able to complain about women. The same thing that we're seeing in the manosphere is happening right now in the divestors. Right now. Let me go back to it. I didn't see anybody say what I was thinking. The reason why Juice said no, yo, I look straight trash. My parents put like bowling shoes on me, Juice, when I was a kid. I kid you not. No notifications. I don't know why people aren't getting notifications. Turn your notification bell set to on. I don't know why people aren't getting them. I think just because, I took a lot of the content down. As we continue to grow and as the numbers go crazy and do things again, it'll go up. The number why, how about that, huh? The reason why most divestors can't divest is because they already have a child with a black man. What other race? I understand that, Fifth Lady. I'll talk about that in a second. What other race of man and children are a freaking blessing from God. I'm saying though, culturally, when have you seen a white man taking care? When have you seen an Asian man? When have you seen a Hispanic man taking care of a black child? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? It's like I sit back and I sat back for some months and I was just thinking about things, and I was like, "Oh, you have? Okay, well, God bless." Hey, hey, by all means, Mimi says she has. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. Different strokes, Webster. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Let's be brutally honest, okay? Let's be honest. I've never seen that before. Why? I've never seen it before, and how I know it's rare because I Googled it. You know how I do with everything, y'all. I Googled it. Let me show you what Google pulled up. I Googled it. I Googled this: white father, black child, and mother. This is what I Googled. Okay, I Googled this, and I'm not trying to shame you for divestment. I'm just trying to be honest with you. It's going to be extremely difficult for you to fully not date or marry a black man if you have black children, right? If you have mixed children, obviously that's a bit different. It's a bit different. Well, let me not say that. I Googled this picture. I Googled this. I didn't find one with a child that was just a black child. I saw okay. I saw, here's two white, here's two white people right here. I didn't see one, ladies and gentlemen. I looked through multiple pages on Google. I looked through like 7 pages on Google. I didn't see one. I saw 2 white people that had African kids. What are we talking about here? Now, let me go back to this. Lexus Exorcist is married. CJ says, dude, please tell me that's not the extent of your research. What did you Google search? Listen, all you ladies who are going to be hurt by this truth right now, okay? There is out of every 10,000 white men that are going to be willing to date or marry a black woman, out of those, you're talking about a severe less than 1% are going to be willing to marry and father a black child. And it's not just white men, it's any race. You know why this barely happens? This barely happens amongst anybody, period, y'all. You don't see black men with a white mom who married to a white mom. You'll see that more often. I will say you will see this more often, right? Than a white man that's fathering a black child. But that's almost borderline taboo in the white community for a white man to do that. I'm just being honest with you. White people absolutely adopt black children. 1,000,000% they absolutely do. 1,000,000%. They do. Not that often, but they do. Not that often. We're not talking about adopting children right now. Miranda, minding my business says, if Pink Pill is considered a divested, although she divested from divestment, she has a black child who was raised by her white husband. Okay. So Pink Pill got one. White people are adopting black children. White people have been adopting black children since Africa. It's nothing new. White people have been since Africa, since the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's nothing new. White people have been adopting. Listen, Google search white people adopting black children. It'll pop up a million results. It's not that uncommon of a that's not that uncommon. We're talking about white men. Okay, we're not talking about white women, people adopting black children. We're talking about white men fathering and marrying black women. That does not happen very often. CJ said that she's very shaky. Okay, I tell you what, you go find a person, you go find me a couple, interview them on your channel, CJJ, and I'll pay you $500. You go find me one couple in the next week that's willing to do an interview that has a black child, a white father with a black child. Do the interview on your channel. All right. And I'll pay you $500. Obviously, they're out there, but the chances of them doing an interview on your channel and telling it is very unlikely. That doesn't happen. Okay, it does not happen very much. Phoebe, once again, I'll give you the same challenge. You find somebody willing to do an interview, by all means. Let me move on here. Now, I've already told you, and I don't know why you're going to act like I didn't say it beforehand that less than 1% of marriages are interracial. You do understand that, right? Less than 1%, according to 2012, 2010 data. It's going to be probably 3 to 5% now. All right, less than 1% of marriages. I don't know if y'all planning to get married. I know marriage is not the thing to do anymore. I'm just saying, from a divestment standpoint, from a manosphere standpoint, from the Kevin, from the Cynthia, from all those standpoints, right? It preaches marriage, all right? Marriage. From a marriage standpoint, interracial marriages, as much as I want to encourage them, it's very difficult for a large portion of divestors to do it. If you don't have a child, it is much easier for you to divest. If you don't have a black child, it's much easier for you to divest and date outside of your race. And this is the same thing with all races. This is not just black women. This is not just black people. This is the same thing with white people. This is the same thing with Asian people. This is more so with Asian people, right? So well, actually less so with Asian people. So this is not race specific necessarily. This is just extremely rare amongst that 1%. Okay, so I need you to understand once again, and I don't know if it's 1% of marriages. Now, once again, I think that it's 1% of marriages all in the United States. That number is pretty low. If I had to estimate what interracial marriages is between black and white, I don't know what. At this point, 5 to 10%, maybe. I know it's a 3 to 5, maybe 5 to 10%, right? Between black and white specifically, 5 to 10%. A lot of couples, good amount of couples. Like I said, if you're going for marriage, I don't know, right? If you're going for marriage, I don't know, all right? I don't know. I know there's a lot. If you're going for relationships, I know that's becoming a lot more common, especially with the younger kids. What's the generation after us? Generation Z or X, millennials, or whatever we are? I'm a millennial. So whatever's after us, it's definitely a lot more common, right? But this is still an extremely rare thing. Now, this is where I do, right? This is why I do support the need for divestment, to speak divestment. This is where I do support this, right? Because for that girl that is listening, right, that's in high school right now, that might be in Blackistan middle school right now, that feels that she does need to be, right, super race loyal, that she doesn't have the ability to date out, that she can't do this, that she can't do that she has to, whatever it might be. I feel like that's a good thing that she's going to hear the words of divestment. 1,000,000%. A great thing. I think it's good. I think it opens the best of both worlds, the best of all worlds, whenever you can have a situation where a young person can have a better ability to have a better relationship with a different type of person, a different type of culture, travel, open their experiences, their minds up to different things and new experiences in life. I think that's awesome. I think that's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, right? The problem is that most of the problem is that the biggest divestment content creators are going to, once again, they're gonna get you the pill 1,000,000%. They're gonna give you the pill. All right. They're gonna give you that red pill. And just like the manosphere guys, right? You get that red pill and you go through that red pill rage, right? And that's what you see going on in these divestment channels. You're seeing this rage. You're seeing this anger, right? You're seeing the anger and the rage, right? Just like you see in the man's channel. Whether it be righteous rage, anger, I understand both sides, definitely, for sure. But there's definitely some fuckery going on in the divestment sections and channels as well. And we're going to talk about it all. Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk about it all. We're talking about everything. The inconsistencies, the stupidity, the ignorance, the unrighteousness, the danger. It's not all black men killing black women on Black Femicide's channel. I don't know if you know that. Shout out to Black Femicide for being legitimately honest. But every, I don't know, 10, 11 pictures or so, she posts a black woman who dies at the hands of a black woman as well. Now, the divestors don't want to talk about that, of course. The divestors don't want to talk about all the violence that happens. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be talking about it because I know y'all think that, that no violence happens. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Violence definitely happens with niggas. That's for sure. That's for sure. For sure. But gosh darn it, you're so weak, you're so stuck in your red pill rage that you're gonna leave a nigga and go right over to the wigger. Why? We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to say too much. I'm not gonna go off too early. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to say about this. Right. Now, I'm gonna open up the panel. I'm deciding whether or not I'm gonna open the panel. If you want to hop on the panel, you're more than able to hop on the panel to join. There you go. And give me your experiences. Tell me how you feel. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me what I'm off on. My numbers. If you want to bring me some numbers, maybe I'm wrong about the interracial marriages or relationships. And once again, I'm not trying to shame you into not doing it. I want you to be able to do it. But the reality is, there are most of y'all do not have the tools in your repertoire, your tool bag to date outside. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You don't. I'm sorry. You just don't. You just don't. It's not success. I'm sorry. Just like most niggas don't have. Most niggas, just like most people in the manosphere, shouldn't be dating. You should not be dating. Right? Now, I know this divestment thing's been going for, I don't know, how long has the divestment been going for now? I don't know. It's been going for a while. Okay. It's been going for a decent amount. Okay. Decent amount of time. All right. I want you to do something. Right? I want you to do something. I want you to pay attention. Okay. Since it's the first live stream, I'm just gonna make this prediction right now. Right. I just want you to pay attention. To pay attention to all the YouTubers that pop up in interracial relationships. Start paying attention to people who pop up with divested channels. If they are divested, I want you to pay attention to what type to who is popping up in these interracial marriages and relationships. I want you to just YouTube it right now. If you don't believe what I'm saying, if you think that I'm just, oh, Truth, you're just so wrong about it, Truth. You're just so wrong. Okay. You YouTube it then. You do your research then. Since you think since all the research that I've done in the past year is just irrelevant and doesn't make any sense, then you go ahead and prove to me that somehow your research is more relevant, factual, informational, poignant, and more accurate than mine is. I tell you what, you make a series of videos that are going to respond back to the series of videos that I make, and then we'll see whose information outshines the other. I can almost guarantee you that yours is not going to outshine mine, though. Just forewarning for what's getting ready to come up. All right, just being fair. Right? Unless it's shit. I can't lie. Unless it's like what's her name? Who's wildly amazing with the video. She's like a damn genius. Right? Unless it's her. I'm not saying you shouldn't date anybody. All right. If you have I'm not saying you shouldn't look to date. Obviously, I'm not saying I believe everybody should date. I'm not saying you shouldn't date if you have a child. Everybody should have the opportunity to date, provided that you're actually a sustainable parent to that child. Yeah, fucking right. Date, of course. We're humans, dude. You have to date. I get it. I absolutely get it. 1,000,000%. All right. At what point? At what point? I know this is tough to listen to. I know this is really tough to hear. And so I'm not going to go in all the way, starting off. I have a lot more to say. And once again, it's not just going to be my words. Good to see you, Jerkia. It's not going to just be my words. And give me 1 second, dear. I'll let you go. It's not just going to be my words. It's going to be the words out of Black women themselves. It's not just me. Jerkia, welcome to the channel. It's good to see you. What are your thoughts on this? Somebody said Lexus Exodus. Shout out to Lexus Exodus. Has Lexus Exodus showed her husband? I mean, and listen, y'all, like, check it out, right? Like, check it out, right? Assuming you didn't know who I like, and listen, I love, I love Lexus Exodus, but this is a problem I have with content creators, and I'm sure if Lexus Exodus said her husband's white, her husband's probably white. But I'm just saying, not everybody is who they say they are online. Have you seen Lexus Exodus's husband? Have you physically heard her speaking with her husband beside her? I'm not saying that she's not married. She probably is married to him. I'm just saying you need to vet, just like Lexus Exodus tells you, you need to vet content creators. All right. Have you seen Lexus Exodus' husband? Have you seen any divested content creator's husband? White husband? Let me know. I'm just saying, I could say, if you didn't know who I was, I could be like, oh, I'm this guy you're seeing on the screen right now. You see that black guy with the tie on? That's me. I'm that guy I play with the trombone. Yeah, that's me. I acted right here. Yeah, that's me. I said, you look beautiful. And she looked at me and she said, thank you. And then my next line was, you're welcome. Or thank you. Can I kiss you? And then I kissed her. And assuming you didn't know that I look like Truth, assuming you didn't know I look like this, who knows? The light said, where's my $500? You got it. It's coming up. I know somebody's gonna do it and they're gonna be like, nigga, pay up. I'm like, damn. If you do find a white man that has a or Asian or Hispanic man, or that has a if you find it whatever a Asian man with a white child, or a Hispanic man with a Asian child, or whatever, if you find it, I got to cut it down. We'll cut it down to a oh shit, hold on. I'm cutting it down to a day. Hang on, I gotta pick up my mic and my camera. Jerkia, I'm sorry. Hold on, Jerkia. Jerkia's like, bro, what the? All right. My bad. Camera's definitely not going to be where it was. Okay, here we go. Age or gosh dang it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate your patience. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this entire thing? Let me know, and don't hold back. You can flame me.
Yeah, so although I agree that having children out of wedlock does decrease your chances of finding a suitable mate,
Hmm.
I want to know, where are you getting your statistics from? Like, how do you know all divestors have children? Like, where are you getting these statistics from?
I didn't say all divestors had children. I said that most of the divestors in the divestment spaces that I've
Yeah,
seen
so how
have
did you come
children.
to that conclusion?
Yeah, well, once again, by age 30 or 34 or 40, 80% of people have children, right? 80% of
So how
guys
do
have
you
children.
know that all divestors are over the age of 30?
They're not, but most of them are within the age of, I'd say,
How do you know
24
that?
to, because that's the algorithm. That's the way. There aren't many 16, 17,
What do
18 year
you
olds
mean by
watching divestment.
algorithm?
There aren't many 16, 17, 18 year olds watching divestment content. That's just not
I'm
who.
20. I know many girls my age, Gen Z
That's
age, that watch
that's fine.
divestment channels.
Oh, that's good. You're not 16, 17, or 18 though. You're 20. Now, let me ask you this, okay? You're 20. You don't have any kids. That's fine. Do some of your friends have kids, or are you all kidless?
We're all, most women, we're
You're all
counselors.
kidless. You're all kidless.
Yes.
Okay, all your friends are kidless. None of your all your friends are kidless. None of your friends have kids.
No.
Okay, cool. Well, then, like I said earlier, you have the ability to date out right now. You don't have a child of a specific
Yeah, I know
race.
many
Now, if
black
you
women
have a,
like this. So where are you
huh?
getting your statistics from?
You said you don't know what?
Where are you getting your statistics from?
I need you to understand something. You don't have kids right now, right?
No.
Okay. So, like I said in the beginning earlier, right? I said this earlier, okay? If you don't have children, then you will have a much easier time dating outside of your race. Did you not hear me say that?
Yeah, but you're making an argument that doesn't exist. Like, you're
This
making
argument
it.
this argument 100% absolutely
I'm
100%
sure there are
absolutely
some
exists.
divestors with children, but
Uh-huh.
where are you getting these statistics from?
Right. So let's just assume, okay? Let's just assume most divestors don't have children, all right? Let's just assume.
All
All right?
right.
Let's go ahead and give credence to your point. Why then in this case, what exactly would you say is the rapid slowdown? What exactly is hindering you or your friends or anybody else that's divested from having their white husband then? What would you say?
Well, I'm young. I just graduated high school 2 years
Sure,
ago.
sure. Or your white boyfriend then. Whatever.
I simply have not gotten in a relationship yet. I'm not sure what you're. I'm too.
Okay.
I just turned 18 2 years ago. Do you really
Right.
expect me to be married by now?
No, I don't expect you to be married, but would you consider yourself divested then? You said you're divested, right?
Um, I date all men.
Okay. You date all men. My camera's trash. Hold on. You date all men. Oh, my fucking camera's dead. Fuck it. You date all men. That's good. Hey, listen, I think that's great. Hold on. I think that's great. By all means, they are all men. I 100% agree with that. That is not what the divested movement is all about. Okay. Now you're a swirler. All right. You're not a divester. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I get that, but your
Okay,
argument
you're
is kind
you're
of
not a
disingenuous,
but
and I
you're not
can't
a
let you get away with
you're
that.
not a divestment. You're not a divester, so you can't argue on their behalf. You are a swirler. Nor do you even match what the demographic of divestors are. You're a 20-year-old girl. Most of those girls are not 20 years old, Jerkia. You are the
How do you know
exception
that?
because how do you think I know? I've been listening to you talk for the past. I've been listening to the divestors talk for the past 2 years, for the past 3 years. This is
You've
what
only
I've
been in
done
the
for
space for a year.
Jerkia. This is what I've done
You
for a
used to be in
living.
the
Jerkia,
manosphere.
how do you think I got to the manosphere to begin with? Thank you. You're not a divester. You're a kid and you swirl. And I told you before, this is what the new generation does. I said the generation after me, you can rewind 30 minutes ago, is much more down with the swirling and with interracial dating. You are the generation after me. I said that
So
20
you still
minutes
haven't
ago.
told me where you got your statistics from.
My statistics are accurate because I know what I'm talking about. But I tell you what, I'll find you. So I can't even find any statistics. What I can do is I can show you I can show you my analytics, but I'm not going to show you my analytics. I can just tell you that the analytics give us a breakdown of the people who watch us based off of their age. They go from
Okay,
18 to
go ahead.
24,
Let us see.
25 to 34, 45 to 44, 55 to 64, and so on. Most of the people that watch me are 25 to 34. Now, I understand that I'm not a divestment channel, Drakia. I'm just telling you that as somebody that's made, I'm just telling you that as somebody that's made a living on YouTube for a decent amount of time and that does pretty decently, that I know a little bit about it, a little bit more about analytics and stats than you do. Okay, no offense to you. I know that you're all wise at 20 years old, but thank you for your input though. Our 20-year-old divester who's single right now, who has never dated a white man or a white boy for that much. Fuck out of here. The light with $10 says Elena married to Joe, Asian, on YouTube and had previously fully black and had previous children on fully black. He raised her. Elena married to Joe, Asian, on YouTube. All right, we'll look up Elena and Joe. Elena and Joe. Let's look up Elena and Joe. Absolutely, Mimi A. I said this before, and I've said this. I've said it before. It applies to everybody. It doesn't matter if it's an Asian man with the Asian kid and a white guy or Hispanic guy comes to date. It just does not. You do not see the crossovers. You do not see the crossovers when it comes to men rearing other races of children. It just does not happen. Period. Like I said before, it is almost taboo. Period. No, she's not just a baby. She's one of those psycho divested fools who's gonna end up, saying something smart to a black guy out in public, and then when something bad kind of happens, or she gives somewhat of an attitude or something like that, there's gonna be something negative that happens. Those are the women right there. That exactly why I'm making this video. Who think they know everything, but they're 20 years old and don't know shit about shit. They just have shitty ass attitudes, and they come with pretentious ass attitudes and arguments on shit that they know nothing about. That's exactly who I'm talking about right now. That's exactly who I'm talking about. No, I don't mean single mothers. I'm not talking about single mothers. I've talked about single mothers. Listen, I just got done talking about it. You can be a single mother 100% and still date. And moreover, you should. You should have the ability to date. And I said this before. If you are responsibly taking care of your child, then by all means date. And thank you, The Light, for the $10 super chat. I'm going to look it up right now. By all means date. You absolutely should. You absolutely should. Seems like she was just asking a question, my guy. No, I don't do it. I don't do it with those little attitudes, man. I don't do it with those little attitudes. You can keep that little attitude, gaslighting shit, and take that shit somewhere else. I don't play that. I'm the one with the red pill rage, possibly. But no, single mothers, no, there's not a problem with dating. I'm saying that dating outside, right? Dating outside your race, dating outside the race of the child that you have is extremely difficult. Damn near impossible, especially when you start talking about marriage. Be honest with yourself. Once again, you are not going to see. Why am I so mad today? Why are y'all so? What's wrong with THD? Trying to go back to the message. No, no. I'm about to go in. I'm about to go in. Y'all don't let niggas have emotions, man. God damn. Am I okay? No, I'm not okay. Send money to my Cash App. That'll make me okay. Are you gonna make me okay, Loving Homes? You gonna make me feel better? Send money to my Cash App. Y'all are so goddamn gaslighting. Are you okay? Why are you so mad today? God, y'all gaslight so goddamn much, fool. Y'all don't even understand. He said, man, bye. Adios. Bye. Block. Jazz. Block. That's right. Another single divester. Block. Block. Another lonely divester. Block. Yeah, keep coming out. Keep coming out. You'll get blocked. No, it's all right. I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go in on y'all divestors who none of y'all have white men, Asian men. I'm getting ready to go in on y'all. Y'all have no idea. Marquis, blocked. Oh yeah, I'm bringing this divestment thing all the way down to the ground. The same way y'all want the niggas to get it, y'all about to get it too, because you need it, just like the niggas do. You need it to save your life. You think you know everything? Okay, okay. Why? I thought we were having a friendly discussion. You and I were having a friendly discussion, Fifth Avenue lady. You and I having a very friendly discussion. If you'd like to come up and have a discussion, you're more than welcome. I don't understand what your question is, though. Why? Why what? Why did I block people? Because I can. Why did I do what? Hello, I said we'll have to wait to see what happens. There's been a jump in black women, white men marriages from 4 to 12%. So let's see if blended families will be a part of that in the future. Absolutely. Let's see. We're gonna talk about the jump. We'll talk about the jump 1000%. The channel is Maisley. Oh, thank you. The light. I didn't see it. Mimi, hey, can I know what inspired the conversation? Like what happened? What divester tried me? What inspired this entire thing is my debacle that I had with Cynthia G and Nyla Says, and I decided to just kind of watch and do a lot of research on interracial dynamics and relationships amongst black women and white men, and I've done a shit ton of research on it. And so I'm getting ready to bring up all the research that I've done on it. So Cynthia G and Nyla is going to be responsible for the wave of what's going to be coming up on this channel, going forward. And once again, like I said, it's still going to be holding, niggas accountable too. But hey, like I said, you're going to have to leave your feelings at the door this time, because the facts are the facts. And you know what? I do understand a bit what Kevin says when he says that, your facts don't care about your feelings. I do understand that a bit. Kevin Samuels, the problem with Kevin Still is that he still represents the exact same thing that we're talking about here, which is like, nigga, you really ain't really like, you really nothing like that, to be honest with you. Like, bro, I mean, he has money now, so don't get me wrong. He can do a lot of what he's talking about, this high value stuff, because he does have money now. So maybe he really can, hey, he can get some chicks. He's pulling up. He's flying chicks or, people out. He's flying people in and out. Hey, he can walk the talk a little bit. He can walk the talk a little bit. Man, most of these niggas ain't walking. Most of these people are not walking no talk. Not walking no talk. Now, the thing about statistics, and why I don't like to bring statistics up, like Real SEC said, is because just because we know what the real is, right? Now, this is what people try and do. This is what this is what divestors and, this is what a lot of people, well, this is what both sides, Femisphere and Manosphere, always try to do. They'll be like, okay, where's the statistic? Like a motherfucker's going to have a fucking statistic on that shit right off the rip. Where's your statistic you're getting that from? Where's your statistic at? Where's your statistic at? Where's your statistic? No, we know what the real is, all right? We know and we understand what the real is. The real is none of us has seen no white man walking around raising a black child. That's the real. None of us have seen that in real life. Why am I so pressed? Block. Why are you so blocked? Brenda said, I don't understand why they're angry with you. Since when do white men just marry single? Bruh, I'm trying to save people's lives, man. But it's okay, though. It's okay. It's okay. I got more research on even violence. Oh, I got the research on the violence. Look at 100 people watching, almost 100 people watching. I don't even fucking stream. And on this first stream talking about some stuff, there's going to be 100 people, maybe, probably not. They're going to leave. But you're going to leave and come back. Why? Because you love to listen. It doesn't matter if I decide to go completely off the edge. It doesn't, you know what? To be honest, on YouTube, going completely off the edge makes you listen more. Why? Because black people love drama. Black people love drama. Black men and women love drama. So you don't mind seeing me go off the edge. You want to see me go off the edge. You want to see somebody being the bad guy, just like Scarface said. So stop with the gaslighting. Why are you so emotional? This is providing entertainment for you. Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what your entire thing is about? After all, you've been watching the same divestment person for the past 2 years, and you still don't have somebody that you divested with. So what exactly are you looking for on my channel specifically? For me to be wrong about something about a divestment? I'm not going to be, just forewarning you. I'm not really wrong about anything I say for the most part, unless I just got like a wrong statistic or something like that. Why? Because I don't say anything unless I'm positive. All right. I love you, Leslie. My mind works faster than my mouth can. I just have to like let it go off. I gotta gloat a little bit. I'll come back down in a second. I feel a lot right now. Also, I don't think investing has anything to do with getting the white men. Lena, the thing about that is, and I know that's the biggest thing that we're kind of like going back and forth on right now, right? Divestment versus swirling. I'll put the link up if you want to join the panel. Again, sorry, I didn't post. I didn't, keep it up. On the panel, there's the link. Divestment versus swirling. I was going to do an entire live stream on that because I was confused for a while on that. I didn't even know there was a difference. But like I said before, I think the difference is that swirlers still date, black guys, right? Sean Coxey has lost it. You lost it on nigga block. So I think that that's the main difference. But like I said before, it's kind of like the manosphere and the origins of the manosphere. I guess the difference where the guys who did start the manosphere might have had something that they really did go through in life. They were guys who really had legitimate issues, and they found each other online. They were like, yo, all of our wives have screwed us over like this. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Of course, divestors still listen, divestors are going to talk about, I got proof on that, Leslie. Man, wait, man. It's crazy you said that, Leslie. You just wait for about a month when I drop it. I might have to drop it sooner now that you said that. Of course, they still date black men. Most of them still date black men. They have no choice. He's gone crazy. I'll let you think I've gone crazy. If you can see my face, I'm as still as hell. But I'm saying most of the content creators already, they're already in the 40s and 50s and 60s and stuff like that. So I mean, most of them are with, black guys because they already did have families and stuff like that going into it. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's disingenuous. I'm not saying that their words can't have merit. Okay, but I can't even say all that right now. You're just gonna have to stay tuned. There's a lot to say right now. Lena, welcome to the panel, Lena. I appreciate you being here. You can roast me, but just you have 30 seconds to do it, and then after that, I'm gonna ask you to stop roasting me. So go ahead.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to roast you about. Um, my opinion about divestors, divestment, like I said in the comments, it to me it doesn't have anything to do with white men per se, at least for me. It has more to do with not getting caught in the typical traps that a lot of Black women get caught up with, meaning overburdening oneself with issues that are prevalent amongst Black people, taking the time to really focus on yourself and what you want in all aspects of your life, really working on your mental health, your well-being, working on your physical health, dedicating a concerted amount of time throughout the day to ensuring that you eat right, that you exercise, that you do all of the things that are going to allow you to live the best life possible. Um, I was kind of chuckling because earlier today I was like, I really need a staycation. And what that is it's like
Yeah.
when you decide to travel in your own city and you kind of, at least for me, this is my definition, you book the most luxurious vacation that you can without taking a plane. And you do that for yourself. You
Mm.
do that because you're worthy of it. And you just craft the type of life that you want without all of the burdens that a lot of other, unfortunately, Black women get caught up with. That's what true divestment means for me. I don't look at white men as some sort of savior. Maybe it's because I have direct associations with many white men on the job and just different aspects of my life. And, just like with all different types of men, there are some good, there are some bad, there are some
Right.
that I could just do without. But they're just men, just like any other man. So
Mm.
I would never tell any Black woman to divest 100% from Black men and think that going over to white men is going to be like your solution. I feel bad for Black women that actually think that. Those are
Absolutely.
the Black women that are going to really be in trouble. I
Yes.
think a better
Absolutely.
way of thinking about it is there are certain behaviors that people, men, I'm just speaking as a woman, men engage in that you want to avoid. I don't care what color the man is. And I know for some people, they don't want to hear this. But if you are attracting a certain type of man, that says something about your energy.
Mm.
And when we take the time
Yes.
to really work on ourselves, to build our confidence, our self esteem, guess what? A lot of the people, black, white, Asian, everything in between, that have those negative attributes, they're not even attracted to you because they know that they cannot come to you with their BS. The type of energy that they're exuding, that's not the energy that is going to allow you to feel like that person is worthy of your time. So
Yeah. Now,
another aspect for me of divesting, and I'll just say this,
yeah, take your time.
is putting yourself in the best situation possible. So, a woman that is truly divested, she, like I said before, she spends time on herself emotionally. She's getting the counseling to deal with any trauma that she might have experienced from childhood. She focuses on her ability to create the life that she wants financially, meaning she can live in whatever community she wants to. She's not relegated to an inner city that's plagued with crime, plagued with all types of issues. That does not allow her to live her best life. You know, she's able to live in the upper income communities and enjoy her life. She has a certain level of safety that comes from that. But also, she doesn't go into relationships naively thinking that because a man is a certain race that he is going to and this goes for whether he's black, white, whatever, that he's somehow going to treat her a certain way. And I think for some black women, they naively think if they're paired with a black man, he's naturally, you know, he's your same race, he's going to look after you. No, if she's paired with a white man, he's the antithesis of the bad black man. He's going to be in your corner. No, it just doesn't work like that. Like I said, I think all women, but really black women, need to take the time to really work on themselves. Do what is going to bring you happiness. And what's going to happen from that is you'll have a certain type of energy and you're going to attract the type of person that is best suited for you.
Absolutely. That's what one of my live streams is about right there. And you pretty much said it. That's it. And that's the way that if you do want to divest, even amongst all circumstances, that is the type of person that you're going to have to be. You're going to have a radiant light shining inside of you that exudes absolute excellence that everybody wants to be around. You cannot be somebody trudging along in the mud and expecting to pull yourself a Prince Charming. Bree says this, before black women say date, and before anybody says, not just black women, but any woman says date the best man for the job, make sure you're the best woman for the job, and vice versa. Like these guys in the manosphere, and like I've been talking about, are always wanting these unicorn and this, and that, and they want these slaves, but then they're not, they're making $22,000 a year. It's like, bro, wake up, bro. All right. So those videos aren't going anywhere. They're going to stay up. Lena, I want to ask you what, well, I have a lot of things. Bree says that she loves the speaker. And Lena, it's good to see you again. I know you haven't been on in a while. You have some love in the chat. So thank you. I think there's a few things. I want to read some of the comments. What do you think about this? Zabe Skill says this, Lena, you can't be divesting mentally and still want a black man though. There's just not enough unicorns, and you'll see that real quick. And then one other comment, somebody else said divestment for some women is not dating at all. And I think that quite honestly, that is a factor, or that should be an element of divestment that should be really more popularized. And I know that's going to get I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying that, and I'm pushing something, but if we're being honest with ourselves, hey, being around your own place, your own, things, your own apartment, house, your city, your own people, whoever's living with you or around you, that's comfortability, that's peace. There's something said about having peace for you, yourself, or your family without having any outside influences or relationships. Because once again, if you're not the type of person that is really ready for a relationship, or if you just don't understand what you need versus what you want, or you're rushing into a relationship because you feel like you have your clock ticking, or you feel like you have this, or you feel like you need to do this, or whatever it might be, then you're going to end up most of the time in a worse situation, and the relationship's just not going to work out. So did you really divest at all at the end of the day? If you're back in the same part or in the same space that you were in to begin with, what really are you? So let me go ahead and go back to it, Lena, because I know I said a lot right there. But what do you think about the fact of divestors? And I'll be honest with you. Do you think that the term divestors more relates to you not dating black men at all when you hear it? Or do you think that divestors more relates to picking the best man for the job? When you
I
hear
think
that word, what triggers you?
what comes to mind is picking the best man for the job.
So when you hear
Because
that,
if
when
you're
you hear
truly
divestors,
divested, you're
mhm,
divested from the notion that because that man is black, that he
right,
is naturally your counterpart.
right,
That's, to me, divesting means that you put yourself first. And how can you put yourself first if you are holding on to society's notion of this is who you should be with because you're of the same race? Like, if you really are to divest, in my personal opinion, you're looking at the attributes of the person that's going to help you move forward in different ways. Someone that is more spiritually aligned. Now, that can come in the form of a black man, but I'm just simply saying his race is not going to be the salient factor. It's going to
mhm,
be his actions, it's going to be his energy, it's going to be who he is as a man, irrespective of his color, his ethnicity.
mhm,
That's
yeah,
what I would think someone that's truly divested would be focused on. So, and likewise, you could argue that divestors who only focus on white men are not true divestors,
mm,
because if they're only focused on this man because he's non-black or he's
right,
white, that doesn't speak to his character. That
yeah.
doesn't speak to his actions. That says nothing about
Well,
who that
and
man
past that, Lena, what it does is it enshrouds the negative actions or character that he might have, if in case there is something off about him, in case something is amiss, right? That veil is now that much harder to reel and vet through because you're looking through him through these mythological lenses, right? Because obviously he's zaddy, and God forbid, that he's not trailer park, whatever. And I shouldn't even said that. I'm gonna get flamed for that in a few years by white people, but God forbid, but it makes things that much harder. I want to say this. Zabe says, and I want to say two things. Let me say that after. Bree says, you can be divested and date black men. Black men have divested longer and better than black women. If you can't not choose thugs, that's on you. But you'll choose non-black thugs just the same energy in you. And we're going to talk about this energy because Leslie hit on it. We're going to talk about energy in a future live stream. Bree, you're right on the money. We're going to talk about energy in a future live stream. Zabe Skill said that the stats say that black women have the most successful relationships with white men. Absolutely. We said that here on this channel first, actually. We said that amongst the marriages, when white men get with black women, it's radically more successful, like something like, I don't know, it was like 250% more successful than when black men get with white women. Like, it was ridiculous, the numbers when they showed them, right? So I'm 100% with you, and I understand. You can't fight that fact, and it makes sense. White men and black women are a lot alike. I 100% understand, the numbers and the statistics. Trust me, I get them 100%. I do. But if we're using statistics once again, all right, and that's why I don't like using statistics as much. But for that live stream, I did use it because I wanted to show, brothers, that, hey, when they do it, they're able to do it much better than you, right? It's still a problem with the frequency that we're having right now. But past that, the problems we're having with the frequencies is what we're talking about right now in this particular moment in time, right? We're actually talking about a lot of different things, but we're talking about the frequency and why certain people have a lot less smaller frequency chances of being able to divest or to date out of their immediate race, whatever you see divesting is, because I see that we have people that, believe a few different things. Hold on one second, Lena. I'm gonna come back to you. I see we have people that believe a few different things, right? So I'm going based off of the divestment principle that it's leaving black guys alone, because from what I've seen in my own personal opinion, and Lena, I want you to answer this question. From what I've seen in my own personal opinion, the biggest divestors are the ones who specifically tell you not to date black men. I mean, the biggest YouTube content creators who are divestors are the ones that tell you specifically not to date black men. And when I say them, I'll just call names. I'm talking about Paris Milan. I'm talking about Cynthia G. I'm talking about Nyla. Those are the biggest names in divestors. And coincidentally, they're the most radical as well. So that's the only issue I think that I'm kind of having. And Lena, I love the perspective that you had on it, but what did you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think I've listened to all of those people. I don't think any of those people are true divestors. I
Yeah.
think, Paris Milan was, I think, in a long term relationship with a man who was Canadian Nigerian
Mm,
for a while. I don't know what happened, but there might have been something that happened in that relationship that created some sort of trauma for her.
Yeah.
as well as just general experiences. I know she's from the West Coast of seeing a lot of Black men with non-Black women. Um,
So let me
Cynthia G. Oh, I was just
one.
going to go quickly through all of
Yeah,
them. Cynthia,
minding my business said they are divestors? Question mark.
no, I
Okay,
don't
so
see those
who is
people.
a divestor? Who is a divestor? Maybe I'm just like
The
completely.
divestors, in all honesty, are not a part of those conversations because they're too busy living the life that they want for themselves. So they're not even on YouTube in that way. They're not, I'm saying the true people who have mastered divesting in every realm that I was speaking about before, they are with their either their Black man, the white man, they are living the life that they want. And if they're on YouTube, it's not about divesting. It's about making the bag, meaning they'll have a divester. To me, I'll give you a divester. A divester would be, have you heard of this person called Kelly Stamps?
Yeah, I've heard of Kelly Stamps. I know Kelly
Kelly
Stamps.
Stamps is a divester. Her
Okay.
channel has
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
to do with Black people. Her channel is not about trying to win over Black men.
So so my thing is this then. I mean, essentially it proves what the what the stream is, which is that you can't divest. Like most of y'all are not divestors because you don't even understand the concept of divesting to begin with, really in the very most basic, its very most basic essence. Right? You're saying most of them aren't even divestors anyways.
They're simply women that have been hurt very
Exactly.
badly.
Exactly. That, and we're gonna talk about that later too. We're gonna
Yeah,
talk about that later. That's
especially
where we're
with
gonna pin.
Cynthia G. And don't get me wrong. I think Cynthia G is a very intelligent woman. I think that she is finally, able to
Absolutely.
get a
That girl's wicked
presence
smart.
right on YouTube, and she has quite the following now. But anyone who remembers how Cynthia G started, like you just don't go from night to day like that. Let's just be real. Cynthia G came on YouTube, and she was initially someone that was very pro Black man. That's the reality. And when she started realizing that the feeling was not reciprocated, and even more that the Black men that she was kind of propping up they did not have her back. It made her as a woman really question her alliances. So she did a complete 360. But I would not consider Cynthia G to be a divester, not in any regard. Paris
Now,
Milan, again, she's not a divester. Nyla is actually married to Taz, which I'm sure you're aware of if anyone who's been in these YouTube, as they say, streets. And
I was told by somebody who is very, 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 very close that they are not married.
okay, well, even if they're not married,
Yeah. Like
still, I guess, in a
I'm
relationship.
really, yeah, really, 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 really positive about that.
Right, but even if they're not married, still in a long-term relationship, I assume. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but from what I have heard from Taz, I'll just be honest, he's one of the few Black men, and I know he's classed as like this ghetto guy.
Okay, Lena, I'm gonna have to stop you there because those people are evil. All right, those people are evil. Taz is a fucking maniac. All right, which I don't even know how he has people watch him when he has domestic violence records against Black women. That's another story, but we'll talk about that in another live stream. Okay, but just know that that Taz is the exact type of nigga that would go upside your motherfucking head, Lena. All
And
right,
you know what? I
just
don't
know
I
that.
don't know these people. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I know, and Lena, I know, but this is the problem, though. This is exactly why I'm making these live streams right here. These people are fucking ludicrous. But don't worry, we're gonna bring everything. We're bringing everything to the light. That's the problem, Lena. And I'm glad that you said that. And this is the big issue that we're having: is people are going into this thing. I'll put you on mute for a second, just for the feedback, just the fan. 1 second, Lena. And that's the problem with this. People don't know that, but you assume and you hear and you think that just because, like I said, I could be this. Hey, I'm Tom Cruise. You're listening to Tom Cruise right now. I'm okay. She's getting ready to kiss me. I am Tom Cruise. Okay, now I'm this guy right here. Yeah, I was that actor in the movie. I was that actor in the movie. Why? Because I have a YouTube channel, because stuff sounds good, and because you can say it a certain way. No, 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 no. No, this is very different now. Now offline is going to start to meet online. Why? Because offline met online in my world, and so it's going to meet online and offline is going to meet in your world as well. That's going to be my goal. And just like I made it my goal to make the Manosphere losers look kind of stupid for a while and to bring their ignorance to mainstream, just like Fresh and Fit started to have to make Fed It, and just like their podcast doesn't do the same numbers, and Donovan Sharp's numbers are down, and just like Coach Greg Adams Coach Greg Adams is actually doing okay right now. I'm not going to even front to you, but the Manosphere dudes, man, please, the Manosphere numbers are going down. People are laughing about them on the internet. They weren't doing that before I started talking about it. I almost have 1 million views on my YouTube channel, which isn't that many, to be honest with you. It's not that many at all, but almost ran up 1 million views when I started talking about things as far as black men and dating. Almost 1 million views. At the million mark, Archie said, wait, what? At the million mark is when you start to make a little bit of an impact. When you start to get to the million marks on YouTube, that's when you know that you have some kind of reach. They are kind of ratchet. Lord have mercy. That's when you know that you're starting to get to your reach. All right. That's when you know that you're starting to get to your reach. And I'm just now getting close to 1 million. So I see the reach. Now people aren't taking the Manosphere seriously. What, like, niggas in the Manosphere don't even want to be in this little Manosphere type thing, but they're going to be in their sphere because that's who they are. They're just not going to call it the Manosphere anymore. They're just going to call it, men's rights activism or something like that. I believe that's what Coach Greg is calling it now because, as you know, the federal government has pinged the word Manosphere. Also, somebody gave me a comment that said that the federal government wasn't like picking up on the word Manosphere or something like that. In the actual federal docket, it says the word Manosphere in it. Like, I don't know how much more you can do, but obviously, niggas don't read and shit. So I wouldn't expect niggas to know that. But it's in the docket, my nigga. If you want to read it, the word Manosphere is in there. So they are, watching y'all dumbasses. But past that though, and Lena, I'm gonna get back to you. Channel got getting flagged when she was doing white supremacy content. Yo, let me show you something. I just got to show you a picture, okay? I saw this the other day. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't gonna show this because I know it's once again gonna piss people off. But this is like, this is pretty much how divestment in a lot of ways. This is pretty much how like divestment in a lot of ways can almost be interpreted. And when I say divestment, I mean the extreme. The extreme version of it. Let me see if I have this damn picture. Man, where did I send this picture? Oh, man, it's on my phone. Hang on. Oh, I saw it. I know this is on Miss Elite's channel, all right? Shout out to Miss Elite. This is what like divestment is pretty much turned into at this point. All right? Trigger warning if you live or hate the Deep South. This is divestment at this point. Miss Elite is a woman. She says, honestly, I believe many black women are traumatized, just like Lena said, for all the anti-black women content that started years ago and from actually being raised amongst terrible environments. Trauma, 100% understandable. Fuck. It's way more extreme compared to now, some even divesting from any black men and their families, including their dads. Hey, if you have a bad parent, fuck, I understand that. I can get that. If he's a bad dad, I get that. That's all right. Personally, I'm not going to wear the flag out of respect for my ancestors. People cope in different ways. So she's talking to two white guys in this picture. Now, I don't know if this is a divester. Maybe I need to look up her handle. Her handle is the first boss wifey Texas Lading. So she is in Texas with me. I'm sorry to say that. Let's look what the comments said. I said I'm about to go all the way in on them for the next 3 months. Hey, I got some thumbs up on Miss Lee channel. I watched her on TikTok. I try not to judge black women like her. I think you're right. Many of us have been traumatized so much. These type of black women I see engaging in that flag, I kind of treat them with kid gloves because I know deep down they have gone through a lot. Don Dutchy said that's such a beautiful white woman. Somebody said LOL. Cynthia said, whoever the perpetrator, not Cynthia G, Cynthia Pickett said, whoever the perpetrators are, the gender wars are getting ridiculous. I agree. Anastasia said, I can't stand nakers as a collective, but this is going too damn far. Jojo said, you love to see it. Bonafide Pride said, this is a bit too try-hardish for me. It looks forced and kind of dumb, to be honest, but hey, to each their own. Black women suffer from self-hatred too. Not that it's impossible, but I highly doubt those are her real eye colors. Do what you want, but have some dignity at least. And one thing I want to say, kind of getting out of that picture, is let's stop treating black women like they're a monolith, okay? I know that a lot of black divested content creators, Paris Milan says that a lot, and a lot of them say that a lot. Stop treating black women like a monolith. But I understand now. I do get it now. For sure. Let's stop treating black women like a monolith. And that makes sense now to me at this point more than it ever has, right? more than it ever has. And I hope that listening to these messages going forward, you understand and you'll be able to internalize that message through those lens, right? Through those lens, minding my business with the creaking or the shrieking face. Hey, join the panel if you want to join the panel. We're not going to be live for that much longer. I was trying to keep it under an hour, but we had an awesome guest hop onto the panel, Lena. She's been wonderful. And Lena, give me any pushback that you want. I appreciate you for being respectful even in your pushbacks. In the future guests, you can be disrespectful, but you'll have 30 seconds to do it. After that, I'll be cutting you off and you'll have to listen. Lena, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Well, no, like I said, the picture that you just showed of the woman with the Confederate hat and flag in the back, like that's not a divested woman. Like I said, a
Okay.
divested woman to me, again, my definition of that would be someone like Kelly Stamps. It would also be someone like, I saw this in the room, Maza. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but I know she's married to that Korean American guy. Her content, again, does not focus in any regard on race. What's interesting about Maza is that she, I think, has been with, based on the children that she has, she was married, I think, to a white man, she was married to a black man, and now she's married to an Asian man. So she's been with all different races, and I think for the most part, it seems like she finally, in Joe, I haven't seen the channel in a while, but if we are to believe what we see, which I rarely believe half of what I see, but if their life is anything like it's depicted in those videos, then it would appear as if she has met a man that is, someone who matches her energy, which is a great thing. Anytime we can find someone that matches our energy when we bring our best forward, that's a great thing. So I don't see men from the standpoint of a white man is necessarily better, a black man is necessarily better, an Asian man is necessarily better. I look at the qualities. What does that person, what have they done? What is their mentality? What are their interests? What are their goals? What have they, again, achieved? What are their actions? How do they feel towards me? How do they treat me? Those are the essential questions that, I pose. And so I'm never going into anything saying because of this man's skin color or his ethnicity that he has my best interest or he does not necessarily have my best interest. And I think that's part of the reason why many Black women are not able to separate themselves and see it as I have to do what is best for myself and what could potentially be best for my future children. When I hear the argument made online, like, why do you need a man to make 7 figures or 6 figures? Well, wouldn't you want your children to have the best? Wouldn't you want to raise your children in a certain type of environment? Or if you decided to have a family, to be able to directly craft what your children are learning by being in the home and not having the burden of having to work? And it really goes beyond money because a person can make a 7-figure, income, or they can have a 7-figure net worth, but they're not about anything. And so it's so much more complicated than just how much money the man makes. It's also obviously his mentality, it's his energy, it's his commitment towards you, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, I agree, Lena. I agree with everything there that you said, for sure. I promise I was listening too. I promise I was listening.
No, and so I just wanted to leave the audience with this, that this is something that I've thought about when we think about Black girls in particular. And I think this is something that you were getting at, the honest truth. I came in maybe at the tail end, so I didn't hear your entire thought, but you were getting at the fact that Black girls are not really situated, correct, to be paired with other races of men.
Right.
But they come online and many will speak about divesting because this is what now the YouTube spaces have turned into.
Right, exactly.
But what I would say to that is, and this is the fascinating part, because I'm heavily into psychology. Believe it or not, these people are not going to be divestors. They're going to turn into interracial daters. There's a difference. Again, I think we've already spelled out what, in my view, what a divestor truly looks like. She's putting
Mhm.
her interests, her needs first. She's not deciding that a particular man based on his race is the best for her, but it's based on his actions, his deeds, um, his energy, those sorts of things. And that can come in any form, in any racial background, ethnicity, whatever. But those
Absolutely.
women will turn into interracial daters because I do believe, based on the content of the Black manosphere, there is no way that these young girls are coming online and consuming that content that's in the Black manosphere and just being exposed to the Black men from those spaces and
Right.
walking away and saying, this is what I want. If anything, they're impressionable and they're looking at it as, I want nothing to do with that type of man. And
Mm.
they're positioning all Black men to be that type of man. And because they don't have exposure to white men, many of these Black girls, they didn't grow up in diverse communities or predominantly white communities, and so they only have the negatives of Black men. They're not exposed to the negatives of white men, the negatives of
Right.
Asian men.
Gosh dang it. That's another stream right there.
And I
Jeez,
think
y'all are on
there was
point, man.
someone, Honest Truth, who said one of the things that Black women that are really interested in dating interracially should do, and I think that this is great advice,
Hmm.
get yourself friends of that particular race. Meaning,
Absolutely.
if you are interested in white men, get some white girlfriends. If you're
Absolutely.
interested in Asian men, get some Asian girlfriends. And the reason why is because directly through them, you're going to start learning about the cultures and how, they were raised and some of the norms that exist or that they came up with that were directly crafted by the men from their culture. And I think that's going to at least give a little more perspective that this idea that because this man is not Black, that he's perfect, that he has all of the attributes. And I'm not necessarily saying that everyone subscribes to that, but I'm saying it's just crazy to hear some of these arguments, and it's like they really believe that someone who's white or who's non-Black is their savior because they're just looking at it from the standpoint of, this Black man is so evil, he's so wicked. Look at all of the things that he says about Black women. Look at how he treats Black women. For crying out loud, every 5.5 hours, a Black woman is murdered by a Black man. So I want to be in a relationship. I cannot be with a Black man. So indirectly, it's like, this has to be the answer.
Right. Yeah,
And so
you're on
it's so
exactly.
sad what is going on. So I'm not telling these women, go back or find yourself a Black man. No, that's
Mhm.
not what I would tell them. I
Mhm.
would say, put yourself in the environment that you
Mhm.
believe you can attract the type of man that is going to give you what you are saying that you want. So if you're saying that you want someone who is family oriented, who is committed, someone who is going to treat you a certain way, put yourself in an environment where you can meet that type of man.
Right.
I'm not a relationship expert, so I can't tell women where to go in those instances, but I know there's a lot of other people who do this for a living that could definitely help some people out that want to put
And
themselves in those type of environments. But what they're going to find is anyone that is really about helping you find your life partner, it's
mhm.
never going to be about the race of that man.
Absolutely. That and, man, Lena, I don't know if you just been reading my live stream scripts or what the deal is, but you said so much where I was like, oh my God, she's literally reading exactly what I wrote. So let me read this comment, read a few comments to you, Lena, while we got you on. Simple Susie said, I feel like Black women are often mocked as a result of the divestment movement. Huge. We are usually stereotyped as desperate. Exactly. And this can backfire in the public eye. Yep. Facts. Facts. Sometimes I watch this shit and it's cringy. It's cringe. It's cringe, man. It's cringe. It's cringe. Bree said, "Say Black girls with actions, not words, anger. They have enough of that. They need weights out. They need Black women who actually walk their talk and don't confuse daddy wounds with being some of the movement." Bree, I agree with you there. I know you're going with our truth in the in the chat. So if Bree, if you can please relax a bit, but I agree with you there. Our Truth says nobody's talking about how a lot of these women are only divesting to get back at black men. Absolutely. It's the red pill rage phase, right? It's the red pill rage phase. But even then, once again, you need to understand that just because something is wrong doesn't mean that something still can't happen to you. Okay. I was having this conversation a while back. Okay. And this will be something that we talk about in the future, which is, guarding and really protecting yourself, verbal judo, de-escalation, conflicts and situations. Because guess what? That 20-year-old girl that was talking to me earlier today, some niggas in the street, man, they're not about to listen to that. They're not about to go for it, man. Some niggas in the street will go upside of her head and be like, B, who do you think you're talking to? Now, obviously that's not right. Okay. But whether it's right or wrong in that moment does not matter. He's already gone upside of your head. So I'm trying to get y'all to really unplug from this massive, yeah, go ahead and bow out, Bree. You can bow out. All you want to do is just complain. Oh, we need to do something about all that. Why don't you go do something then? Fuck. You go do something. You can stay tuned and watch what I'm going to do in a little bit. I can't tell you all everything I'm going to do. But yeah, Lizzie said overinvested. I think that's an interesting thing, but I really like to comment that divestment can almost turn into public mockery a bit. And that's a big one right there. That's a huge one, actually. That's a huge one. Archie said, but would that be the same for white men who befriend black men to get closer to us? That would be a disaster. Interesting. Gabe Skill said, but it's insane how dishonest Bree is. The main cause of black girls struggling is literally that many can get pregnant and left to be single moms by black men. We kind of talked about that, and we're going to wrap this up here in a little bit because I know that's a little bit off topic. As far as just, I'll try and give this most judicious, clear and concise and honest answer I can about this. As far as black girls getting pregnant, that's just a proximity effect thing. If you're around black people, you're going to get pregnant most likely by a black person. If you're around white people, proximity effect says you're going to most likely get pregnant around white people. And if you're Asian, you're probably, going to, even if you live amongst black people and you're Asian, you're probably still going to get, pregnant and have a family with Asian people, because that's just how Asian people are. But I said that jokingly, but seriously. But in all seriousness, though, part of it is, yes, proximity effect, and you can't stop proximity effect to some extent, right? That is the nature of it, that is the nature of it. And then part of it is also as well, not every black woman wants to divest or not date black men, right? And so what are you going to call her a mammy because she wants to date a black guy? The problem with divestors, and I'm getting into all the live streams in the future, but hey, you're watching the first one, so you get a little sneak peek. So pat yourself on the back here. The problem here is that a black woman could be married to a good black man and walk right into one of these channels or whatever and be like, hey, hey, I'm not saying, I'm just saying I got a good guy, bro. She's going to get flamed just like Kevin Samuels chat room be flaming like the women who come in there and be like, hey, I'm just, I'm not saying that, I'm different. I'm just saying, though, I do have a degree. They're gonna be like, bitch, we don't care about your degree. Bitch thinks she's smart because she got a degree. The same thing is gonna happen. It's the same blood sport. That's what they love to watch. They love blood sport. They love that. They love it. I hate to use the B word. I'm just trying to prove a point here. Okay. But yeah, she'd be like, hey, I have a good, don't let her try and stick up for the black husband. Don't let her try and stick up. Listen, I understand that it's tough. Don't get me wrong. It's tough for the white people too. Okay. But bruh, they would flame her to hell. And so because you got a good husband, black man, you think that she'd be like, no, I'm just saying that there's hope. I think that there's hope for y'all ladies. I'm just saying because you got a good black man. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. I'm not lying. Will I go there? Neon Eyes in the building. Good to see you, Neon Eyes. Yo, somebody, Neon Eyes, I'm sorry. I didn't know, that you did content creation. Make sure you check out Neon Eyes, ladies and gentlemen. I had to check out Neon Eyes, and she has great content. A few different channels or whatnot, but I had little guy Neon Eyes when she came onto my panel one time or came on the channel. I was like, oh, Neon Eyes is here. Look at that. And hey, it's good to see y'all, little Neon Eyes, but she's definitely, heavy in the game. So my bad, Neon Eyes. I got a comment that you were upset. Or I got like a message from somebody that said that you were like upset about it. So I'm sorry. Not upset, but I'm not trying to gaslight you. I know you didn't care, but paying you your respect. THT, they are unicorns. Yeah, definitely. Hey, listen. Hey, hey, listen. I I done talked about it. I'll go back to my past live streams. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. All right. 1,000,000%. I'm just saying though, don't destroy the poor girl that got a good marriage. Don't destroy the girl who's 18, who's in a relationship with her black boyfriend. If she's happy, let her be happy, man. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I get it. I didn't take down the live stream videos. They're just on members only because I need the cash. So hey, donate to the channel. Hey, speaking of donate to the channel, donate to the Cash App, Truth Seekers with no E at the end. That is Truth Seekers, Cash App. You can donate. You can support the channel. You can do all that good, fine, dandy stuff right there. Neon Eyes, good to see you. I'm glad that you enjoy it. We're going to be doing numbers. We're going to be doing some things. And I just want to open up once again the conversation, the eyes. Lena, I'm going to let you kind of give your last final words there. Divestment is simple, Neon Eyes says. Make smart. Make smart life choices, Jesus Christ. Neon Eyes.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at some of the imagery that you have, and it kind of brought me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
I grew up watching 21 Jump Street, and oh my goodness, I had such a large, really, really large crush on Johnny Depp. Like I used to have like this not wall size, that's an exaggeration, but it was a very large poster of Johnny Depp. It was a popular poster that a lot of my friends had. Um, and I remember, speaking of that, I remember my brother was very upset that I had that poster. And I also had a poster of, I'm showing my age now, Jason Priestley from 90210. Because my mindset at that time, I was very young and I did not associate these guys with like the race. I know that sounds really weird now, even for myself to say.
Wow. No, I know exactly what you mean. I did the same thing. I didn't either. I didn't know I was the only black kid in my school. I didn't realize that until it was like third grade.
Because you were not conscious of what the race implications, like you saw color, but there was nothing attached to that. I think that's the point that I'm making. I clearly could differentiate, at least for myself, between the white kids and myself, but I did not associate any meaning to that. So everyone was equal as far as I was concerned. How I judged people was based on how they treated me.
Yes, and thank you for giving me a way out of that, because they'd be like, this nigga just said he didn't know he was black. Thank you for elaborating that so much better than I ever could have.
To your point about black girls being well, I don't think you made this point, but this is something that I just wanted to share with your audience quickly. That I was early on indirectly and directly socialized by my older brother that I was doing something wrong by having posters of these two quote unquote white boys on my bedroom wall, because I was just a teen girl. Well, I wasn't really a teen girl. I was like before teens, but I loved, the 21 Jump Street. I thought, just like many of my friends, that he was very attractive. I knew nothing about the act outside of the actor Johnny Depp. I was just going purely based on what I saw in 21 Jump Street. And like I said, many teen girls of all races were highly attracted to Johnny Depp. Just he was an attractive guy. But I was shamed for that. It was like, how dare you? And so that is kind of for a number of Black girls. It happens in different ways, but they're kind of told directly and indirectly, you should not be looking at these other races of guys. Your loyalty should be to the Black guy. Like if I had a poster of, I'll just name, I don't know, Theo from the Huxtables or something, which I probably have his poster too. But if that was like the prominent poster in my room, my brother would not have cared. He would not have said anything. But it was specifically because these two guys were non-Black. They were white. And I'll say that my first boyfriend was actually, he was half Ethiopian and half German, but he looked more Caucasian. And I remember, when you think about like your youth and how innocent you you were at that time with respect to race, at least I was, I did not understand the magnitude of that because here it is, I was this black girl and I was dating this guy that I really didn't care. I knew his background, but I wasn't dating him for that reason. It's funny that online, a lot of black guys will say, these black girls, they didn't like the guy that was nerdy, that was, into math and science and all this other stuff. The whole reason why I was so attracted to this guy was because he was so gifted at math, to be honest. That was sexy to me.
Mm.
And so I was highly attracted to him for that reason. He was also very tall and very athletic, but it was really his mind. He was in like AP math. I knew he was going places. So that's why I was attracted to him. But we had a lot of issues, not us, but people in the school. And I remember specifically a lot of the black boys would bully him in particular.
Mm.
I didn't know all of the things that they would say to him. And, he was, like I said, biracial, but they would call him like white boy this, white boy that, and say a lot of things to him. And with me, they would have a lot of derogatory statements that they directed at me. And it wasn't until years later that I was, reflecting on my childhood and those early relationships that I was in, that I understood their trauma, their issues. But I'm just saying, all of this ties into why I think many black women um, tend to focus exclusively on black men. It's just how many have been programmed in the family and even by the larger community. But I think that's changing, the honest truth. I really do. I think with this new crop of young black girls, the world is truly their oyster. And I don't think that they're being positioned in their households by their mothers, to be honest, to exclusively date black men. I don't think that pressure is there anymore.
Yeah. No, I think that you're absolutely right. I think that you're absolutely right. 1,000,000%, 10,000,000%. It's definitely going up on the rise, and it's going to continue to go up. It's going to be normalized for sure. It's going to be much more normalized in about 50 to 100 years. 1,000,000%. I agree. I definitely agree with that. I want to say a few more things, and then I'm going to kind of cut this off and read a few more comments. Archu said, when I think about it, the majority of my surroundings have always been Latin and Asian men, yet the most trauma I've experienced have been with black men. Right? Interesting. Seeing him daily says, interesting. I was hip to race relationships, self-hate and colorism, etc., as early as 4 to 5 in the 90s. Seeking him daily says, 90s. That's deep. As early as 4 to 5. That's serious. That's serious. Let's see. I'll read a few more things, and then we're gonna move on and wrap this thing up. But I do want to address a few things though, going forward. And I know it's hard. It's hard for me to explain, like, the concept of what I'm going to be doing before I actually do them. So, I try not to explain too much more. And plus, I know that y'all hate when I explain things and I don't do them, or I take too long to do certain content, as the emails and the comments go. So I'm not going to talk about it too much, but we are going to be tying the divestment movement into the past live streams that I've done as well in the past, with the reason and the need for divesting in the first place a lot more fluidly. But in order to do that, we're going to have to shake some stuff up first, right? It's going to have to shake some stuff up first, for sure. So we're going to be on a pretty hellacious or hellish path for about 2 months or so. All right. Tearing the ground up. Lena, thank you for being on, Lena. I appreciate you, my dear. Lena hopped off. I love Lena's comments, especially the end of the comments where she speaks about the change and the change that is coming or on the way. And there is a change that's coming on the way for sure. But there's other changes as well, right? There's other changes as well. And we're going to be talking about a lot of those changes, right? In the meantime, since my camera is dead, I want to wish you a very, very, very happy and wonderful evening as you go about your wonderful evening. If you're a lady and you're walking and traversing the streets or Blackistan, or if you're just walking around in general, even if you're not in America, even if you're just walking around anywhere, Start considering having a self-defense firearm that's legally able to be drawn and fired if need be, if the worst, God forbid, does happen to you, especially if you live in the following cities: New York City, Los Angeles, Miami, Cincinnati. Let me see where else. Gary. If you hear your city mentioned, don't take offense. Just know that you need to have a firearm if you are a woman in that city. Dallas, Houston, Detroit, Philadelphia. Let's see. Name some other cities if I'm forgetting any. I'm Newark, which is in New Jersey. Let me see here. At this point, I'm not going to throw Portland. Portland's really nice, actually. Last but not least, we have to definitely give an honorable mention to New Orleans. Last but not least. And to all of our, once again, we said Miami, but we'll give the entire state of Florida. You need to have a gun because niggas in Florida are absolutely insane. White men as well. Thank you. Baltimore should have been number 3 on the list. Thank you, Neon Eyes, for joining. I appreciate the kindness, my dear. Thank you for watching. A major shift is getting ready to happen. I'm not for everyone. It is for the benefit. I know you don't see it now. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know you're like, Truth has lost his effing marbles, but trust me, Truth does know, or I think I do. Maybe I don't. We're about to see what he's doing. We're going to see. Alexander Brandon's in the building. Black men kill black women every 5.5 hours. Bro, how could somebody defend that? We're not defending it, but we have a lot to say about a lot of other things, though, too. Alexander Brandon, stay tuned. It's going to get interesting, y'all. It's going to get interesting. You know I bring some real stuff. It's going to get interesting. I'm not defending it, but my God almighty, we have to talk about it a bit. Real Leslie C said, good to see you, THT. Oh, Colonial... Laura, your comments are great. Laura's a Redditor right there. Laura's the type of person where you read the comments on Reddit and you're like, man, smart. Just smart as a whip. Y'all are really smart, dude. Y'all are smart. Seeking Daily says, yep, I knew that white was right back then, specifically the beauty standards. Wow. Jeez. They've done that. I know you've seen the video of the girls or the children. They put the black Barbie doll and the white Barbie doll in front of them. And they say, pick a Barbie doll. Which one's pretty? And they all point to the white Barbie doll, right? So I understand. I think that somehow, and these kids were as young as 3, I think 3 or 4, right? Maybe they were older. Maybe they're 4 or 5. Y'all know the video I'm talking about. We've seen it. Hey, am I Aquarius? No, Leslie. I am a Pisces. I am a Pisces. Our Truth said, so happy you're back live. So happy you're back live, Truth. I messed it up because you said you have my name in your name. So keep them coming. I will, Truth. We're going to be back really soon. Probably tomorrow, to be honest with you. If not tomorrow, then the next day. No longer than that, though. But I already have a bunch of scripts written. So probably come back tomorrow. But anyways, it's past your bedtime, JJ. I appreciate that, y'all. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. I care about you. I love you. Reach out to me if you need something. TheHonestTruthYT@gmail.com. I'll do what I can. I probably can't do too much for you right now, but reach out if you need something. We have a channel. We have a platform. Make sure that if you haven't already donated to the Sick Therapist channel, that you donate to the Sick Therapist. I'm going to put her link up. One time she's trying to buy a portable oxygen machine. She's trying to buy things that are necessary for her to visit Disneyland and to go to Disney World, rather, before she dies. So, therapist. Check out her page. I'm going to put that link in the description right now. I'm sorry, put that link in the chat right now. It'll also be in the description, as well as a pinned comment on this video. Send anything that you can towards her. I appreciate you donating to her. I appreciate you donating to my channel as well. But if you're going to donate to anybody, go ahead and donate to her first. So with that, having said that, I will see you soon. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. And until I do see you again, I love you very much. Good night.